we are leaning into spooky season hardcore because your girl loves this season. But we thought this would be a really fun opportunity to travel to some haunted locations. So, in the spirit of combining those two things, we're gonna talk about some haunted locations.
All right.
And I can't wait. Today
Let's
we
do
are
it.
focusing on just within the US. Next week, got a little twist coming on that, so stay tuned. Hey friends, welcome to the Taste Toast Travel Podcast. We're your hosts and resident foodies and lovers of all things travel and exploration.
Grab your favorite beverage, get comfortable, and enjoy the journey with us.
Welcome back to this episode of Taste Toast Travel. I'm Tara.
And I'm John.
And it is officially spooky season.
It's fall, y'all.
It's been fall, but it's officially spooky season.
Well, yeah.
We are well into October.
I feel like
at this
it's more
point.
fall.
It's getting more fall-y.
Yeah.
More fall vibes. Yes. I have been, you know how excited I've been for this episode and next week's as well.
Oh, yeah.
Because we are doing some traveling, if you will, from our chairs. And we are leaning into spooky season hardcore because your girl loves this season, as hopefully a lot of America does as well. But we thought this would be a really fun opportunity to travel to some haunted locations. I cannot wait. And you know me. What is some of the main shows that I watch outside of trashy reality television?
Ghost Hunters.
Yes. Ghost Adventures.
That one.
Specifically. But yes, lots of
Very into ghosts.
Lots of ghost shows.
And paranormal.
And the
stuff.
paranormal and all the things. I really am. I'm all about it. But I know many of you might be as well. So, in the spirit of combining those two things, we're going to talk about some haunted locations.
All right.
And I can't wait. Today
Let's
we
do
are
it.
focusing on just within the US. Next week, got a little twist coming on that, so stay tuned. But I cannot tell you how hard of a time I had narrowing locations down for this episode. There are
Because there's so many?
So many.
Uh-oh.
There are so many
Huh.
haunted places in the US. I mean, not surprisingly.
Huh.
But what do you mean, huh? Is that surprising?
I mean, no, but
Oh my God, there's so many.
I don't know. I feel like it. Yeah.
Some are just more well known than others.
I don't know.
But in the spirit of this podcast being heavily around travel, of course, I wanted to focus on some that you could really actively go to. You can stay there. You can really kind of explore it, get sort of in the culture of it, and really make like even a little trip out of it if you really
I
want
can't
to.
wait to be the skeptic in all of this.
Oh, by the way, yes. I mean,
Definitely skeptic.
you could not be more skeptical.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Believer, skeptic.
You're not
Yeah.
quote unquote non-believer. Yeah, I feel like you're a person that would have to have like a very severe experience of the
Yeah.
paranormal
I'd have to,
to like
for
believe
sure.
it for yourself.
I can't just believe things people tell me.
Well, yeah, oh God, okay, this is a conversation for another day. But anyway, we're gonna get into it, and I have several locations here. What I want to preface this conversation by saying is, I wanted to go, for the sake of time today, right? Like literally all of these could be their own separate episodes, honestly. But the approach I wanted to take was obviously like talking about it, but dig a little bit deeper into some specific places at these places. You know what I mean? So it's not like so generic and it's like, okay, go to Gettysburg. It's like super haunted there.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Gonna give you some specifics. So if you do want to go, you know what to look for to find the
Said
most ghosts, I guess. Yeah. So, and really get all the spooky vibes.
Right
so,
on.
Are you
Let's
ready?
do it, yeah.
Sitting down? Okay.
Tell me all about it.
All right. Our first stop, well, I kind of just gave it away. Gettysburg.
Ah, yes, of course.
Now, a lot of people might be like, Tara, this is super basic. To which I say, yes, that's probably true. However, I chose this one a little bit selfishly because it is my home state of Pennsylvania, kind of technically one of my two home states other than New Jersey. And I have been to Gettysburg a couple times
I've never
in
been.
my youth. You need to go. It's
Cool. I'll drive over there tomorrow.
just pop on over there. And it's really cool. And I will not sit here and say I had a paranormal experience there, but the energy is palpable. Like, it's hard to explain unless you've been there. Like, going to the battlefield, just we went there too. I remember we were like kind of pulled over, like where a lot of people were, and it was just like the foggiest day. And I swear you could see, like,
Just like a big field.
from what I remember, yeah, I was young. To
Yeah.
be fair, this is based on a very
I imagine it's
foggy
just like
memory right now,
this
but
big
yes,
open field.
yeah. Well, let me get into it so I can actually keep myself on track here. So, Gettysburg is often called, and I don't know exactly by
Bloodiest
who, but
day or
well, yes. Well, it's
bloodiest
the most haunted small town in America. In fact, a lot of people might be like,
Huh.
"Oh, I thought it was Salem," which is probably also kind of accurate.
Which-
But in July of 1863, the Battle of Gettysburg became the bloodiest of the Civil War. Over 50,000 casualties in 3 days.
Mhm.
That's
All American.
wild. I know. How silly is that? But anyway, I digress.
Killing each other.
Mm-hmm. So the amount of suffering obviously left some scar tissues on the land, so to speak, and countless visitors believes the spirits of ghosts and civilians and even animals still remain. And I'm telling you, you can feel it. It's crazy.
Ghost horse running around.
Ghost horse.
Well, because
Honestly,
they used
probably
horses back then.
Yeah, no, it's so true. That almost like hurts me. Not more than people dying, but like, you know me in movies where like anytime we watch like a war movie or something, right? And I'm like, not the horse.
Not the dog.
No, but like literally. So obviously that is like the centerpiece of this, haunted legacy. And soldier spirits are said to still kind of march, fight, and cry out across the fields. It's really eerie. You just have to go. I mean, with all of these locations, you just gotta go. That's the message today.
Sure.
But okay, so there's a few things kind of like in and around this field, but then there's two specific places that I want to talk about and would recommend going because they're really interesting. So, but in relation to the field, so there's this place called Devil's Den. It's a rocky outcrop where fierce fighting occurred, maybe more so than other places. Visitors report phantom gunfire, ghostly figures of sharpshooters, and cameras or equipment failing mysteriously.
Oh.
I will say, this is a total and complete sidebar, but I was in Key West once. That's not on this list, spoiler alert, but Key West is actually very kind of haunted as well. And I had that happen. We were in like a notoriously pretty haunted building, and my cousin and friends and I were like taking photos of something, and my phone completely glitched and turned off, and it was very strange, where it's like reported that happens a lot. I can see you're skeptical.
Forgot to charge it or something.
No, I didn't. Get out of here. You are zero fun. Okay. Anyway. So the most famous tale is actually a friendly ghost of a barefoot Confederate soldier who guides visitors to certain spots only to vanish.
Cool.
Mm-hmm. Depending on where the spots are.
I would love to see some crazy ghost stuff.
I know. I feel like you would.
Love to see it.
Yeah. They just gave up on you. They're just like, ugh. Just roll your eyes because they know you're skeptical.
I don't know. Maybe I've met hella hella ghosts, but I just didn't know it.
You just didn't know. Just too close-minded. There's also the field hospital. So, this is like the craziest part. And you probably knew this just historically. A lot of people, I feel like, may or may not know this, but like, local homes, barns, and churches were converted into makeshift hospitals because what else do you have?
It's 1860.
Yeah. So reports of moans, screams, and ghostly doctors and nurses still tending to the wounded have been reported. And then there's the Soldiers National Cemetery. So this is, the final resting place for thousands of Union soldiers. And visitors report shadowy figures moving among the graves, faint sounds of prayer, which is interesting, or the echo of Lincoln's Gettysburg address lingering in the air. Don't ask me how, but apparently. So while the battlefield itself holds a lot of obviously ghostly activity, there are two off the beaten path kind of sites. The Sachs Covered Bridge, SACHS, spelled a little differently, but Sachs Covered Bridge, and the Jenny Wade House really ramped this up. So to start with the Sachs Covered Bridge, this one I feel like I hadn't really heard about. The Jenny Wade House I have seen on Ghost Adventures and some other ghost shows.
I've never heard of any of this.
That's exactly why I'm telling the story, because I feel like a lot of people haven't. Or, they hear about Gettysburg and they're like, oh, yeah, it's a battlefield. No. There's some cool stuff. It's actually kind of sad, but, But that was this bridge. It was built in 1854, spanning Marsh Creek. It is a beautiful, picturesque, red-covered bridge. You think very classic East Coast, right? It's very charming by day, but it's very unsettling by night. During the battle, it became a critical crossing point both for Union and Confederate troops that marched across. So there's this hanging story, apparently. So after the battle, legend says that 3 Confederate deserters were captured and hanged from the bridge's rafters as punishment. So reported hauntings are apparitions of hanging soldiers, sometimes described as shadowy figures swinging silently in the dark. That would be fucking scary. That would freak me out if I saw that. Oh my God.
I mean, I would, yeah, I would be definitely interested in seeing it
Oh my
if that was a thing. Like,
I'm just saying that's
make me a believer.
Yeah, I know. You're just like asking for it. Disembodied voices, so like whispers,
I can't
muffled
get on
shouts.
board with like noises.
With, like, the
People
noises
like,
and things.
especially at night and stuff.
I know your mind can kind of like play tricks
Oh my
on
gosh!
you. I
Do you know
get
how
it.
many times
I get it.
I was scared in the middle of the night as a kid, thinking there was someone in my room, and it was just like a jacket on a chair. Like that happened. Like,
Well, yeah, but like, okay, I hear
or
you.
you hear stuff that's not there.
Yeah, no, I get that. Again, I think it's one of those things where a lot of the time you have to experience it for yourself. A lot of
Yes.
these shows that I watch,
Yeah.
right? They deal with a lot of skeptics, and they're just like, I get it, but it's like something I can't explain.
So funny.
Anyway, so the smell of tobacco and cigar smoke, it's often very strong and then kind of like vanishes instantly. Or visitors feeling tugged on the sleeve, kind of brushed against or followed across the bridge.
Followed? Like someone?
Yeah, like if you're walking, someone's like kind of following you.
Can you see them?
Unclear.
Hmm.
But they can either see it or feel it, one way or another. But anyway, so it's apparently one of the most active haunted sites in Pennsylvania. And growing up in Pennsylvania, I
imagine.
have to say, there's definitely a lot of pretty haunted places there, reportedly. Actually, in fact, in my
Well, it's like
hometown
one
of
of
New
the
Hope.
oldest states.
Yeah.
So like
It's
that's where a lot of old dead people are.
Shit went down. Yeah. In my hometown of New Hope, we went to lunch there when we visited there last year, the Logan Inn.
Oh yeah,
If anybody is curious,
sure.
I was actually tempted to do that on here. I thought it was like a little bit of too small of a story, but yeah, that's a
It's haunted.
pretty haunted hotel.
Huh.
Yeah. Yeah. If you go upstairs, there's like a specific room. It's like room number 6 or something like that. In fact, one of my old friends who I grew up with there was telling me about it. I think she had stayed there one night, and it's like, it's pretty intense. It's crazy. But yeah, they redid it. Obviously, you remember. So like, you
Yeah, it
never
looks
know.
nice.
It's gorgeous. If you ever happen to be in New Hope, Pennsylvania, highly recommend. But yeah, it's a really, New Hope's just been around a while.
Yeah.
Yeah, it has some cool things. All right. So the Jenny Wade house, this is pretty wild. Okay. So there's this girl.
Jenny Wade is
Her
name.
name
I
was Jenny
imagine.
Wade.
Hey.
Wasn't sure if I made that clear or not, but her name was Jenny Wade. She was just
Okay.
20 years old.
Okay.
She became, get this, the only civilian killed during the Battle of Gettysburg.
Ah, bad luck.
Somehow. Oh, you haven't even heard the worst of it. So on July 3rd, 1863, she was at her sister's home. Oh, I didn't know it was her sister's home. That's interesting. It's referred to as the Jenny Wade house now, obviously. But anyway.
Was her sister's name Bonnie? Karen?
No.
Rebecca?
Oh, sweetie, I don't know. God. Can't with you. Anyway, she was baking bread for Union soldiers. At around 8:30 a.m., get this, a stray Confederate bullet pierced 2 doors and struck her in the back, and she died instantly.
Man, yeah, tough break.
Yeah, tell me about it. So what's crazy is, so this was, again, the episode I've seen in some various paranormal shows. You can still see the bullet hole. It's like you can tour
On the
this
doors,
house.
you mean?
Yeah.
That's cool.
The energy of it's wild. Yeah. So if you're going to Gettysburg, at any point, if we go, I definitely want to check out Jenny Wade House, because it's like, yeah, like I said, you can still. I think they've staged it, or it's very much like true to what it looked like. But yeah, you can still see the bullet hole. It's kind of crazy.
Back then, they still used a lot of like guns that didn't have rifling in them.
Okay, meaning what?
So
I am not a gun aficionado.
Yeah, so-
I have no idea what you're talking about.
let me educate you. In a modern gun,
Okay.
they have what's called rifling in the barrel.
Uh-huh.
So if you looked into the barrel, you'd see like grooves like a spiral.
Okay. Just like regular, not just like a actual rifle, just like
All guns.
guns. Okay.
Yeah, if it has a barrel, it has rifling in the barrel,
Okay.
which is like grooves. It's like a spiral down the
Mhm.
barrel.
Oh,
So
sure.
when
So
the
it
bullet
makes
comes
it,
out, it
yeah,
spins and it makes it more accurate.
right. Versus there, where it's just like, pew,
Back
just
then it was smooth,
okay,
and so it
right.
shot a big old ball out.
Yeah. It's a big hole too.
Yeah, it's a big ball. I mean,
Yeah.
they were big.
Yeah.
And
It's
so
crazy.
like they would knuckle, right? Because they're not spinning. So you shoot and it goes like this, because it's just flying through the air without spinning, right?
Oh my
And so
God.
everyone was super inaccurate. So you'd shoot someone from 50 yards away, and it could go like
Oh
way over that way.
my God.
So yeah, I mean that doesn't surprise me. They probably shot and it was like pew, 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 pew,
Wow.
like going crazy.
That is chaotic.
Yeah, no, they were just like these
Oh
random
my
miniature
God.
like cannonballs flying around everywhere at like
Oh, don't
who
sign me up
knows
for that.
where they're going. Because then like
Wow.
I think
never
they
knew
might have
that.
had rifled barrels back then,
Yeah,
but
I'd
like
have
they
to
were
look
brand
in.
new and probably a lot of people didn't have access to them.
Yeah.
But yeah, they were still using some of those smoothbore things that were just fire or knuckleball.
Interesting.
Yeah.
There's one location. I don't know if we're gonna get to it today for the sake of time, but there was one on my list that you will definitely have heard of because it's in California. And it has something to do with guns that were used
Oh
to
yeah, the
enforce like
Winchester
that.
house.
Oh, you spoiled it.
Mm.
But anyway, yeah. So we'll see. I was maybe gonna, I don't know, I could save that one for later
That was
possibly.
one of
But
the original Winchester model 1870.
exactly. Yeah.
The gun that won the West, as
Mhm.
they say.
As they say.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you for that little history
You
lesson.
got it.
I never
That's what
knew
I'm here
that.
for.
Mm.
I'll see you later.
This is your contribution to this episode.
See if I can pop in some other gun knowledge.
Yeah, seriously.
Oh, did you know about? No, I'm just kidding.
Oh my God. This conversation is going to get derailed so fast. So the aftermath of all of this is, I never knew this either. Jenny's mother apparently finished baking the bread that she had been kneading because there were loaves that needed to be made to feed the soldiers that day.
So she was just like, oh, I guess I'll
Business
just leave
as
my daughter
usual.
on the floor.
I think they might have moved her
I
like
mean, yeah, I'd
downstairs.
imagine.
Yeah. One of those loaves still exists and is preserved at the house.
Really?
Yes. And many believe the bread itself holds residual energy from that tragic morning.
I don't think it does, but that's still crazy. They have a loaf of bread still. It's probably hard
Isn't
as
that
a rock.
wild?
Yeah.
Being in the presence of that, you can't even like imagine how. I mean, you know how old it is, but you're just like, wow, this has survived. It's
Mhm.
crazy. So, reported hauntings are, apparitions of Jenny in the kitchen, often described as a shadowy figure moving about her chores.
Hmm.
A female presence seen looking down from upstairs windows as if kind of waiting for someone's return. She might have a story about that. I can't remember now. Anyway, cold spots and sudden drops in temperature in rooms where she spent her last moments. Visitors hearing footsteps, whispers of their name softly called in otherwise empty rooms, and some claim to feel a gentle, almost maternal touch, like a hand on their shoulder, when standing near the kitchen table. Just like where she was shot. Yeah. So it's considered one of Gettysburg's most paranormally active spots, with ghost tours often reporting unusual phenomena. I would totally do that in a heartbeat.
Yeah, I mean, I'd go there.
That'd be so cool. Yeah. We gotta add that to our list next time I go back and visit family. So anyway, man, I could go on and on about Gettysburg, but those are some of the big spots. So if you plan on visiting, check those out. All right, moving on to our next location. Are you ready? Any guesses?
Give me something to go off of.
Has something to do with a movie.
A movie?
Mm-hmm.
Boy, how
You're gonna
vague-
know this is the second
how
I say
vague
it.
could you get? Ghosts in movies.
It's a location that a movie was based off of. Oh, come
Is it
on.
Alcatraz?
No,
Location that a movie was based off
the
of.
Stanley Hotel.
I would have never guessed that.
In The Shining?
Never.
What?
It wasn't called the Stanley Hotel in The Shining.
Oh.
It's called the Overlook. You know what? God, read a book.
Clearly, I did not read that
Good
book.
Lord.
I guess I thought you knew the actual name. Okay, never mind. That was a complete and utter fail. Anyway, nestled in Estes Park, Colorado, the Stanley Hotel is beautiful, but incredibly
So was
chilling
the
as
Overlook.
well. Where was that filmed?
I don't know.
Oh,
Colorado, probably.
can you look that up
Oh,
as
for
I'm
Christ's
talking?
sake.
I have to know.
It's probably
Because if it was at that hotel, I have to know if it's that hotel or not. Anyway,
The Shining was filmed at multiple locations,
Oh,
primarily using the Timberline Lodge in Oregon
oh, so
for
nice.
the exterior shots of the Overlook Hotel, while the interior scenes were shot on sound stages at Elstree Studios in England.
Okay, good to know. Built in 1909 by Freeland Oscar Stanley, the hotel was meant to be a luxury mountain getaway. Instead, it became one of America's most infamous haunted destinations and was the direct inspiration for Stephen King's The Shining,
Cool.
as we've established.
Great.
Today, the
Book.
Stanley balances its glamorous history with a reputation of being paranormally active in almost every corner. This place is crazy.
Did a lot of famous people stay there?
Um, doesn't
Because in the
really
book, a lot of famous people stayed at the
say.
Overlook.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I didn't get much about that. What's interesting is the thin mountain air and natural quartz and limestone deposits under the property are often said to amplify paranormal activity.
Of course they are. Why wouldn't they?
And no, they're skeptical. And then adding in, of course, the isolation of it all, especially in the early 1900s, winters cut it out from, all of the outside world, essentially. You are in the perfect environment for ghost stories to thrive.
Of course you are.
So the Stanleys themselves, Freeland and Flora Stanley, adored the hotel and poured their lives into it. They both died in the 1940s, but many believe their spirits still linger, but not in like a menacing, creepy, demonic way. It's actually more like in a caretaking, kind of like hospitable way, actually. So Flora is often tied to the piano, where her music has been heard drifting through empty halls, and Freeland is sometimes seen wandering the lobby or the porch. So with the Stephen King connection and where this all comes in 1974, don't know who of you listening knew this or not. I did, but kind of didn't. Stephen King and his wife stayed at the Stanley just before it closed for winter. They were the only guests in the massive hotel. This is sounding very familiar. He reportedly dreamed of his son being chased through the long, empty hallways. That's horrifying. Having a daughter, don't like that. This nightmare inspired The Shining, which is ultimately, cemented the Stanley's Hotel in this haunted
arguably
lore.
his most famous book too.
100%. Yeah.
One of them at least.
Yep. So lingering imprints of guests and staff can be kind of seen and felt. So a lot of paranormal investigators suggest that the Stanley isn't haunted by just one or two spirits. It is layered with energies from over a century of visitors, workers, and events. So the fourth floor, once in children's and servants' wing, is especially active, apparently. Some theories on why are because of children who died young in the area that may be tied to the space, or servants who worked long hours here left just strong imprints of their presence. And many ghost hunters call this residual haunting, quote unquote. So echoes of the past kind of playing.
Sure.
I've definitely heard of that for sure. So it might not even be, spirits per se, but it's just
something
like
that happened and it's repeating.
Yeah, those
replaying.
I guess residual energy, residual haunting apparently. Yeah. So some very more specifical, that's not a word. Some specific paranormal, that's what I was trying to say, hotspots is room 217. So this is kind of crazy. There was an explosion in 1911. So Elizabeth Wilson, the chambermaid, was seriously injured when a leaking gas lamp caused a massive blast. She lived, but many believe her traumatic brush with death bound her spirit to the hotel. But she is a helpful ghost, apparently, and this reputation fits her kind of role in life, if you will, being a chambermaid and all. And she continues to tidy, organize, and look after guests.
So it's interesting because in the book, 217 is the room.
Oh, yeah.
Like you don't go to.
Yeah.
Because a woman died there.
There you go. There's a little background for you. But apparently she's nice in real life.
The main character, I don't want to, I won't say anything about the book in case someone's planning on reading it and they don't want any spoilers, but yeah. There's a lot of, that whole story, there's a lot of crossover there.
Of course, yeah. I'm sure he got a lot of history. Well, okay, so let me keep going and then see if there's anything else. Because I've seen the movie. I haven't read the book.
Book is completely different.
Oh, is it?
It's a an opposite ending.
Oh, okay.
Complete.
Interesting.
Different.
All right,
You should read the book. It's fantastic.
I know. I really should. It's very long, isn't it?
It's fantastic.
Okay. No, that didn't answer my question, so I'm assuming the answer is yes.
It's a book. It's as long as books are.
Okay, some are longer than that. That's what I'm saying. But guests report suitcases unpacked neatly while they're out.
cool.
That would be wild.
I would love that.
Well, I know.
That's the kind of ghost I'm talking about.
Manifest that.
That is, I'm all aboard ghosts.
Oh my God.
Like
Lights turning on and off, cold spots near the bed, and a gentle, just maternal presence. And some even say their shoes are lined up, or like I said, folded, clothes appear without explanation.
So helpful.
So funny. Okay, a few other spots. The concert hall, built by Freeland Stanley as a gift to his wife, Flora. So her ghost, I mentioned the piano, so her ghost is still said to play piano there. And then there's just reports of laughter, applause, and shadows moving when the hall is empty.
A lot of that in the book, too.
Mm-hmm. The fourth floor specifically is... that's the same thing. Okay, yeah. So servants' quarters and the children.
That's where they lived.
Oh,
in
interesting.
The book,
Was
in
the
the
fourth
servants'
floor?
quarter.
Oh, interesting. So yeah, that's
it's like apartments upstairs where all the servants would live.
Okay. Yep. There you go. Yeah. So a lot of paranormal teams have captured EVP recordings of children's voices there, and a lot of guests claim that their blankets are tugged on at night and creepy things like that. The ballroom, full body apparitions are seen on occasion. See, that's what I'm saying. Sometimes it's like what I hear and gather is like it's not always like a full body, like super clear apparition, you know. But many describe a man in old-fashioned clothing appearing and then vanishing mid-step. And then staff say glasses have flown off shelves or tables move without explanation. And then just some broader paranormal reports. Guests hear music from empty rooms, doors lock and unlock themselves, shadows appear at the ends of hallways. That would many visitors describe the overwhelming feeling of being watched. And yeah, the Stanley offers, quote, spirited tours because of how frequent these encounters are. So I think you can go there. I need to like confirm that, but
it's not in winter because it closes.
Yeah, well, apparently. Yeah, that's all I got for that one.
It's cool.
Interesting, huh? Did you know? Well, sounds like you did know that about a lot of it, but maybe not necessarily the why behind why certain areas were haunted.
No, I mean
more so than others, or you kind of gathered from the.
It's just interesting hearing. Yeah, I mean, it's fun hearing about like the actual events, and then
what was
it adapted to a book.
Yeah,
it's very like there's a lot of like, oh, that was in the book. Oh, that was in the book. Oh, that was in the book, but it's slightly different. Like,
yeah,
it's very funny.
Yeah. All right, this one. This is a left turn. You definitely are not going to get this one. And
where's it at?
Pennsylvania.
Oh,
we're going back to Pennsylvania, but in a different capacity, kind of. And again, you guys, I had such a hard time narrowing it down, but this one I've seen and heard of quite a bit, and it's like pretty crazy. So it is the Eastern State Penitentiary.
Eastern State Penitentiary. Say that 5 times fast.
Eastern State. Well, apparently
Eastern
I can't.
State
That's the problem.
Eastern State Penitentiary. It's actually not that hard.
Yeah. So anyway.
So it's just a bunch of ghost prison.
Okay. Well,
ghosts.
now hold on a second. Don't get ahead of my story. So it's in Philadelphia. This was once a groundbreaking experiment in criminal reform, and it became a place of torment, suffering, and despair.
Is this the one that's a big cylinder? I might have studied this in college.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, for those who don't know, he had a criminology degree.
I did.
Yeah. So it opened in 1829.
Cool.
This goes way back.
1829.
Yep. It was revolutionary for its time.
Because it was during the Revolutionary War.
Instead of harsh punishment, it was designed around penitence. So solitary confinement meant to inspire reflection and reform. Okay. So, oh my God, I think this is it. I think you're right. So the layout is a hub and spoke design.
That's
I
right.
Don't remember this. Okay. So a hub and spoke design with cell blocks radiating outward like wheel spokes.
Yep.
Yes, you're right. Each prisoner was kept in total isolation, eating, sleeping, and even exercising alone. Oh my God, I totally forgot about this. I mixed this up with a different prison. Okay, yes, you are correct. So, did you know this? Inmates wore hoods when moved through hallways to prevent eye contact and connection.
Cool.
Over time, this isolation turned absolutely cruel. Many prisoners suffered mental breakdowns. How could you not? Like, oh my God. There was reports of a lot of insanity and suicide grew. And by the late 1800s, the system had become infamous as very inhumane, though the prison continued operating until 1971.
Whoa.
It's not that long ago. That in my millennial brain, I'm like, that was like 30, 35 years ago. No, that's coming up on.
Well,
that's like 50 years ago now.
When the guillotine became outlawed.
It was way more recent, right?
1972.
What?
Yeah. So in 1971, you could still be beheaded by
Like
guillotine.
decapitated.
Yeah,
Oh my
by
God,
law,
that's
yeah.
crazy. So life behind walls, conditions were grim. There was, small windowless cells with one skylight called the Eye of God.
I remember a lot of this.
Do you?
Mm-hmm.
So meals would slip through a hatch. There was no contact with others. Silence was absolute, and talking was forbidden. Oh God, this would be hard. So punishments for breaking rules included the water bath, which was dunking inmates in water and then having them outside in freezing air until ice formed. Oh my
I
God.
bet they didn't do that again.
Yeah, I'd imagine not. The iron gag, which was a metal contraption that cut into the tongue of the inmate that tried to talk. Probably should have had a trigger warning for this. Sorry, guys. Oh my God.
Huh.
And then the mad chair, strapping inmates so they couldn't move for days, often leading to circulation loss. This is next level. So this was not just a prison. This was like a living nightmare, right?
Interesting.
So notable inmates, Al Capone.
Really?
Yep. He was obviously famous mob boss. He was in prison there in 1929. His cell was apparently decorated luxuriously with rugs, fine furniture, and even a radio. But Capone reported being tormented by the ghost of James Clark, a victim of the St. Valentine's Day massacre. I think I remember hearing about that he was tormented by this guy. And he was often heard screaming at unseen figures in his cell.
Woo.
Yeah, well, Capone probably deserved that. He killed quite a few people, or had people kill people, I guess, for him.
Yeah, he had people killed, but I'm sure he killed a bunch of people too.
Yeah. So why it is haunted, I think we can all kind of imagine.
Yeah, why is it? Pray tell.
Thousands of people suffered and died within its walls, many from disease, neglect, or abuse.
Yeah.
The weight of isolation, misery, and death is said to have imprinted itself on the prison, and paranormal investigators call it one of the most active sites in the U.S., which is ultimately why I included it here, because it's really intense.
Yeah.
So just like this is very, very quick. So like cell block 12, there's echoing laughter, disembodied voices, and shadowing figures.
Do they do like tours there and stuff?
Yes. So yeah, I'll get to that in a second. Cell block 4, visitors report seeing ghostly faces and flickering apparitions. In the guard tower, a shadow figure is often spotting pacing as if still on watch. Footsteps and screams. So sounds of running, crying, and blood-curdling screams in empty corridors.
Oh man.
And then Al Capone's cell, there's cold spots, unexplained whispers, and a sense of just like being watched. I'm sensing a theme with a lot of these places.
Yeah.
And then, staff often just describe a very suffocating heaviness, as though kind of like, the walls themselves are just like holding that pain. But yeah, it is now a museum and historic site, partially preserved in ruin. But apparently, this is very timely, each Halloween it transforms into a massive haunted attraction.
Cool.
Could you imagine going there for Halloween?
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Oh my God. That's intense. I don't know if I could do that.
Interesting.
Well, we're going to cover this on the podcast. We will be going somewhere that we're definitely going to be talking about.
Yeah.
I actually don't want to give it away yet. Yeah, we'll get there. We have to do an episode about it because we'll have to break it down. But
you're such a dork.
I'm very excited. It's a paranormal place. Apparently, there's a lot of history there. Stay tuned. So that's that prison. Penitentiary, I should say. Penitentiary. God, that word just trips me up. All right. We are going south now. This one, I don't know that you've heard of this one.
Is it New Orleans?
It's in Louisiana.
Oh, I was close.
Myrtle's Plantation. Have you heard of this? Yeah.
I've heard of it.
I've seen a lot of shows on this. So this is also somewhere I would love to go.
There's a lot of like slave ghosts, huh?
There's one. Let me get into the story. Yeah, it'll explain some of it. So, tucked away in St. Francisville, Louisiana, sits the Myrtle's Plantation. It is often called the most haunted house in America.
They always are.
That's well, I'm sure there's many, and there's a lot of people that would probably disagree on that, but it's. I almost hate to say beautiful because I don't want to, plantations are plantations, but basically it has these grand verandas, moss draped oak trees, and just centuries of dark history. It's very,
what it looks like.
You can kind of get it, right? So built in 1796, the house is a place where tragedy, mystery, and ghost stories all overlap. And this literally draws people from all over the world. There's a show I was watching, there was like Australians there, and they came like
just to see it
for that, or maybe
So
they were doing other
strange.
things, but yeah, there's like people that come all over the world, and you can stay there. Spoiler alert.
Oh,
It's
a
you can stay
hotel?
there. Yes, it is. It's like a B&B.
Wow.
So early history, high level, the plantation was built by General David Bradford, a wealthy lawyer fleeing from charges in the Whiskey Rebellion. Later owners included Clark and Sarah Woodruff, who raised their family there with the help of enslaved laborers.
Of
And
course.
like many plantations in the South, its beauty hides just a very, painful history of enslavement and hardship, to say the very least.
Mm.
And over the centuries, the house changed hands many times, and each new chapter seemed to kind of leave its own layer of ghostly legends, if you will. So one of those is the legend of Chloe. And
Yes.
yeah, you might have heard of this one.
Yeah.
So there's this legend. I'm going to explain a little bit after, but there's kind of a little bit of a lack of proof that she existed. It's a
Yeah.
little bit
I remember
of
that.
I'm not going to say folklore, but like, anyway, I'll get into
Right.
it and all of you can decide for yourself. So the most famous ghost is Chloe, an enslaved woman on the plantation. Stories vary, but the most common version is that Chloe was caught eavesdropping as a punishment, had her ear cut off.
Hmm.
She wore a green turban to hide the scar,
Mm-hmm.
seeking revenge or forgiveness. Again, there's some differences in the story, but she baked a cake laced with poisonous oleander leaves. Instead of her master, Sarah Woodruff and two of the children ate it and died. So Chloe was discovered and, according to legend, hanged by a fellow enslaved people in fear of retribution.
Mm.
And ever since, visitors and staff claim to see Chloe wandering the grounds, always in this particular turban. There's a very famous photo. And I watched a few shows, almost not even on purpose, but just like where they've talked about this. Again, it's a very famous place. And I've seen the photo. It's convincing. It
Yeah.
looks kind of like what you were talking about. So it looks like there is a full body, more or less,
All
apparition
right, I'm gonna look it
there.
up.
Yeah, you could pull it up very easily. It's in a kind of an interesting uh place in the picture. Some people are kind of like it could be distorted.
What's it called? Myrtle.
Myrtle Plantation. Just do like Myrtle Plantation Chloe picture or something. Like it'll come up probably immediately. So some people are, it does look like a person, I feel. But they also were like, well, as a plantation, they often kept like, what am I trying to say? Not like machinery outside, but like where
Is
it,
it this one?
yes. Yeah. It's interesting, right? Everybody please go look this up. Like it's really interesting. Or I'll try and link it in the show
Mm.
notes. But it's an interesting photo, right? But some people are like, "Oh, it could have been like a piece of, I don't know, machinery or something that they just kept outside that just looks kind of distorted." I don't think it looks like machinery.
Mm.
It looks pretty human, ghostly like to me. But anyway, interesting picture. Regardless, that's
Huh.
worth looking at and draw your own conclusions. But anyway, so it has that shadowy figure believed to be Chloe standing between two buildings. So other ghost stories people hear are, children laughing and running around or playing games in the hallways, though no children are there. Some say they think it's the Woodruff children, can't talk today, who died from the poisonous cake. There's also this mirror. I've seen this mirror. It's pretty wild. That is said to kind of trap spirits. So visitors report seeing handprints appear on the glass or faces staring back at them. Also, the piano itself is in the parlor and sometimes plays by itself, or it strikes the same haunting chord over and over.
Mm.
That'd be so crazy. And then there's apparently this young woman's reflection in the mirror that a lot of people see. So she's in this kind of like antebellum dress and gazing sort of mournfully into, mirrors or standing near the staircase. So yeah, just a lot of like footsteps in empty hallways, shadows moving, cold spots, a lot of the
Mm-hmm.
same old, so to speak. But again, just this emotional weight that I think a lot of these places, just seem to
Yeah.
kind of carry. So, this is like the part where I was going to just mention like the reality versus the legend, right? Historians note that not all of the ghost stories can be proven.
Right.
There's no like clear records of this Chloe individual. But myths and truth often kind of just blur the Myrtles, and sometimes the story themselves are, just as haunting as the spirits. So, but whether or not Chloe lived, it's definitely a place that's just steeped in, loss and kind of tragedy and mystery, and I think that's ultimately kind of what keeps it all alive and going. So yeah, it is now a bed and breakfast, so you can spend the night among the spirits, if you will.
Very cool.
You can take tours by lantern at night.
Ooh.
They tell chilling stories in the rooms where things apparently happened, and yeah, that's kind of a interesting place to go. All right, this will probably be my last one, for the sake of time, this will be the last. But the Winchester Mystery House was one on my list, and I won't go into all the detail on that one before getting to my last one here, but that's a really interesting place to go. If you have never been, you've never been there, right? So I have, and this should prove how much my paranormal fascination goes back. So in college, I was in a sorority, and I was a sisterhood chair, and I planned.
Don't know what you're talking about.
Okay, I don't expect you to. It's fine. And I planned a sisterhood event, and that was one of the places we went. So we literally went on like a field trip to the Winchester Mystery House.
Good Lord.
It was cool.
Uh-huh.
It was also very creepy when we were in Sarah Winchester's house or like room. And mind you, she was so short.
Oh, really?
So short. So her bed was
small.
like tiny. It was really funny. It's the craziest house though, because for those who don't know, she basically the very short history of it is that, as we talked about, she was the widow of William Wart Winchester, the heir to the Winchester arms fortune, as you were mentioning. So the rifle that won the West, as you mentioned, but her life was just marked by tragedies. She lost her infant daughter. Her husband died of TB. So she reportedly sought out guidance from a medium, and according to legend, her medium told her that she was cursed.
Built the house.
Yeah, because the spirits of those who were killed by the Winchester rifles were like haunting her. So the only way to appease them was to move west and build a house continuously without ever stopping. So there was constantly work being done on it. So like I can't remember exactly what it looked like before, but like the now is crazy. So you'll go there and there's stairways to nothing. It just goes up into like the ceiling. There's doors. You have to be so careful what door you go out, because literally there are doors that open up on like 2 or 3 stories high. So if you're not careful, it's a drop.
Oh, really?
It is a drop outside, and you could just like drop out of the house.
What a weird thing for a medium
It's wild.
to say. You have to go build a house forever.
I
like,
don't,
what?
or I think she just got that in her head. Yeah.
So
weird. She was building, from like she bought this unfurnished farmhouse in 1886 and began building nonstop for the next 38 years. So like place is massive.
It's good that she had Winchester money, because
because how do you? I know.
Afford it.
How does one continue doing that? Yeah, there's just no master plan. So now there's 160 room, 2,000 doors, 10,000 windows, 47 staircases, many leading nowhere, doors that open to brick walls, or again just straight drops into the garden.
How many square feet is it?
I don't have that.
It's massive.
Yeah, it's crazy. So anyway, yeah, she was just like not only just eccentric, but she was just like a lot of the legends, like she's building this like spirit sanctuary kind of. So anyway,
crazy.
the whole, there's more I could go into there, but it's a lot of the same things in terms of like what you experience there, shadow figures, cold spots, all the things. I have to say, I was a little disappointed. We didn't really experience anything there. Again, there was an energy, but we didn't really get anything like paranormal.
Was it a sisterly energy?
No, I wouldn't say that. But we had like our sisterhood there, because it was a sisterhood sorority event.
That's
so sure. I know, I figured. But yeah, there's like some specific places. There's like a seance room that she like specifically did seances in. So that was kind of interesting. Anyway, so yeah, she died in 1922, and it just was, obviously there's a lot of unfurnished things. But the reason I was gonna like bring this, I'm glad I could kind of just summarize that one. But that's basically what it was. Is that I just saw a commercial, because we don't live all that far away from it. Apparently they're doing, I can't remember exactly what it was. There's like night tours, like there's some fun like Halloween events. They're like
cool,
really doing stuff with it now. So
that's fun.
Yeah. I don't know that we're going to go to that, but
Huh.
it would be kind of fun. Yeah. So there's sort of my bonus thing before I get into my last one. So this one, again, people are probably not going to be surprised by this, but this one's on my list to go to. Any guesses?
No.
Salem.
Oh.
Salem, Massachusetts.
Yeah.
But again, like Gettysburg, I'm not just going to be like, go to Salem. I'm gonna give you some tea here. Okay. So I think a lot of people associate Salem with like obviously one of the most haunted places in America, or just, if nothing else, there was obviously a lot of tragedy there. And it's known for the Salem witch trials, of course, right? So
I've heard of those.
1692. That's crazy.
Columbus
It's a
sailed
long
the
time
ocean.
ago.
No, it's 1492.
I was gonna say you're in the wrong century, but sure. So, one of the darkest and most tragic episodes of American history, I think one could argue, other than some other obvious things. But it is, it's interesting. It's like this interesting mix of like a very charming place, but it's just
People still live there, no?
oh yeah, of course.
It's like a town.
Yeah.
And stuff
No,
and things.
it's. I mean, it looks cute from pictures.
It'd be
I've
cool
seen,
if
but
witches
yeah.
were real. I don't
There was
give a shit.
well, you talk to people there are real witches, and they do exist, and
Cool.
they still practice
for
apparently.
them.
Yeah. So, little backstory for those who don't know, which I think a lot of people, of course, know the general thing of this, but I've also been watching some really interesting kind of like documentaries and shows and things on like why, because of course people are trying to like debunk, so to speak, or put like a more scientific rationale behind the like hysteria and why people were kind of like going mad, so to
Because
speak.
there was lead in
and
the
there-
water.
No, I didn't hear that. There's a lot of reports and things on like they're thinking now that there was
Some type of bacteria.
yeah, or it's like or maybe
contamination.
like a fungus or
It was
something
like a
in the
hallucinogen.
wheat. Yeah, and it can
That's
like
what it was.
cause
It
some
was
things and
yeah, it was that weird shit in the wheat.
So
So they're
there's
eating bread with like
some stuff now that
mushrooms in
is
it.
yeah, exactly. So that's interesting. I'll try and remember to link those in the show notes if I find, or just at least mention the programs I was watching around this. But anyway, in 1692, this Puritan
Not even that
town of
many
Salem.
witches were killed though, right?
Well,
Like 16 of them or something.
okay, hold your horses. So it began with a group of young girls who started having these strange fits, apparently, right? Screaming, convulsing, claiming to be pinched or bitten by invisible forces. And local ministers declared that the girls were bewitched. And this fear just spread like wildfire. So, like, one or two people that really, like, said something, and that became, like, law. Basically. So, over the course of the year, more than 200 people were accused of witchcraft. 20 were executed.
20,
so
yeah.
19 hanged. One, which you might have heard, this is pretty famous, was pressed to death under heavy stones.
Yes, I have.
And there's the more weight.
Oh god,
but,
that would suck.
Yes. And many others died in jail awaiting trial.
Oh.
Actually. So, obviously there's just this scar on this town now, but to get into a few specific places that you might want to go, if you ever want to visit, that when, I'm not going to say if we go, when we go, we will definitely be going to these. So the Witch House, also known as Jonathan Corwin's house, still stands today. So Corwin was one of the judges presiding over the trials, signing the death warrants that condemned men and women to die. So his home is the only structure in Salem, apparently, with direct ties to the trials that remains intact.
Interesting.
That's crazy. Can you imagine? That's old.
1692.
Old house. Yeah. Visitors report cold spots, disembodied voices, and just a heavy, oppressive feeling inside. Some say they see shadowy figures moving past upstairs windows, even when the house is empty. So that's a big one. Proctor's Ledge, which is the execution site. So for years, historians and locals debated, this is interesting, where the executions of the accused witches actually took place. Many believed it happened on Gallows Hill, but apparently in 2016, researchers confirmed that it was actually at a rocky outcrop just below that called Proctor's Ledge. So what makes it significant is, again, this is like the true site of where these 19 people were hanged. And what's so interesting is that unlike this, like, dramatic hilltop, it's just a surprisingly ordinary spot today. It's wedged between some houses and a Walgreens parking lot.
That's so
if you
great.
can begin to picture that. I kind of
So
want.
spooky. of
I kind of
Walgreens.
want a. I need to find a picture
That's
of that too.
hilarious.
But there are some obviously hauntings reported there. So locals say they've heard disembodied voices and sobbing near the site at night. Some ghost tours report orbs or strange lights appearing in photos. And residents who live nearby claim to feel sudden chills or a heavy oppressive energy while passing through.
Wow.
So there's another place too that's worth checking out called the Hawthorne Hotel. So a short walk from Proctor's Ledge brings you to one of the most famous haunted hotels in America. One of the many,
They
I
always
guess.
are.
The Hawthorne Hotel. So built in much later, 1925. It's named
Whoa.
after author Nathaniel Hawthorne, who
Oh, cool.
wrote The House of the Seven Gables. But long before it was a hotel, the land itself was said to carry a history of unease. So it's haunted because some claim the hotel was built on land once used for this apple orchard of Bridget Bishop, the first
Oh, the
woman
first one.
executed
Yeah.
in the witch trials. Bishop herself was accused of witchcraft partly because she supposedly grew, quote, strange and unnatural apples.
Everybody
Okay.
knows. That means you're a witch.
Freaking people, man.
I've seen Snow White.
So apparently in this hotel, in room 325, that's said to be the most haunted. Guests report faucets turning on by themselves, lights flickering, and a woman's voice whispering in the dark.
Cool.
Room 612 has reports of a ghostly woman standing silently by the bed before vanishing.
That would
Staff
suck.
have heard what?
That would suck if that happened.
What?
Like, that's not the kind of ghost I want. Like, just some creepy lady standing next to the bed.
And just like hanging
ew,
out.
Stop.
And then
Creep.
and they've also reported this a strong smell of apples, linking back to Bridget Bishop when no apples are present.
Kind of down for that.
I know, that sounds weirdly pleasant. So there's also the Old Burying Point Cemetery. So established in 1637, it's one of the oldest cemeteries in the U.S. That's pretty wild. Many notable figures of the witch trials are buried there, including Judge John Hawthorne, nicknamed the Hanging Judge. Visitors report strange orbs of light, ghostly apparitions, and the eerie feeling of being followed. And some say Judge Hawthorne's, there's two Hawthornes here, H-A-W Hawthorne, after like the author, and then maybe this is like Hathorne. I might be pronouncing that wrong. Sorry. I just realized there's no W in that. Anyway, Judge Hathorne's restless spirit still roams the ground, perhaps weighed down by guilt for his role in the trials. But generally speaking, other ports around Salem, this town itself seems just like alive with this lingering energy. So local taverns and inns report unexplained noises and ghostly visitors who vanish as quickly as they appear.
Cool.
Yeah. I think there's a lot of places
like that
within Salem that you can visit. Yeah. There's like even some that
I've East Coast everywhere.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's one of the things I love about the East Coast, actually. Like there's no, not the ghosts really, just the history. Like, and we definitely have history here in California. You know, we have, okay. I say that very relatively speaking. You know, there's, I don't know. You can't compare the two. I'm trying to remember how old some of our California missions are. Some of those are
1800s.
relatively speaking
1800s.
old, but is that it?
Yes.
Oh, well. Okay, never mind. Anyway, one of the reasons I love the East Coast, the history is really fun. I feel like there was something else I was forgetting about the Salem witch trials, but yeah, there's a lot of locations. There was one, you're gonna laugh at me, and I was like trying to look this up before, and I should have just gone back to the episode and watched it, but on an episode of My Big Fat Fabulous Life,
oh boy,
she met up with the girls who host the podcast Two Girls One Ghost, and they took her, they stayed, actually I think Whitney had like booked this house herself. It's like a haunted house that you can. Whitney is like the main girl on the show. She is like the main star of My Big Fat Fabulous Life. And so she had gone up there with two friends. They were meeting these podcast hosts, girls. It's a fun podcast. Everyone should listen to that too. You are here for spooky vibes. And the three of them stayed at this house there, but you can go there and book it and stay, but I cannot for the life of me remember what the house was. But it was like there's kind of
we'll link it in the bio.
In the bio, you don't even know what's going on. Show notes.
That one.
You can really tell he.
We'll link it in the show notes.
Helps produce this. but there's like this kind of like line, so to speak, that's like like this imaginary line that a lot of people refer to that like connects a lot of these places that were relevant to the witch trials. So you kind of like,
Yeah,
can
sure.
go and visit places sort of quote along that line, and this house was one of those, and yeah,
Huh.
it's interesting. So a lot of these places you can, I think, still visit.
Interesting.
It's interesting. Yeah.
Yeah,
Now
I'd go.
would be a great time to go.
Yeah, I'd go.
Missed our opportunity this year.
One day.
Maybe next year. Yeah.
One day.
Anyway, that's all I have for my U.S.
Well, you
haunted tours
had some good ones.
tour.
You had some bangers in there.
I know. I could have gone on and on.
I know. We all know you could have. We're
because
glad
there
you're not.
are so many. Like I said, when I went to the Keys, that was really cool. And we actually did do a ghost tour down in Key West. That was
Cool.
it was cool. It was there's definitely some things where like we felt we experienced certain things. But I will say there was some of it where I'm just like, okay, is this I recognize I'm on a ghost tour.
Yeah.
Could some of these things be
Power of suggestion?
whatever? Yes. But we definitely had those things happen where we took pictures and there were orbs upon orbs upon orbs, like, just that type of thing. So
Yeah.
it was kind of interesting. But anyway, even if you don't believe in ghosts, there's a lot of cool history to dig into too. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed that little trip around the US, kind of.
The spooky trip.
So to speak. If you've been to any of these places, please let us know. I'd love to hear from you, or if they are on your list, whether you believe in ghosts, whether you don't believe in ghosts. I want to hear all the things. And if you guys love spooky season as much as I do, I won't be offended if you don't, but can you tell my spooky vibes today? I got my darker lipstick, my black shirt, my darker nails. I am leaning into October hardcore.
Ready to go.
Anyway, you guys, thank you for hanging out with us in this one. I had fun at least.
Yeah, it was cool.
And we'll see you guys in next week's episode.
Cheers.